Greetings, I'm Antar, and welcome to my video. I'm going to call this video something like, At a Funeral, Leaves of Sadness, something like that. So when I was in UCLA, that's University California, Los Angeles, I was there in the second half of the 90s, and I was working on my PhD in the music department, and my concentration was ethnomusicology, which is a multidisciplinary social science. It's anthropology, sociology, linguistics, folklore, and musicology. It's basically the study of music in cultural context. So I was working on my PhD, and I was working as a teaching assistant and teaching my own little class, teaching people to play the sitar. We had a row of sitars on the wall hanging, and people would come in and we would play. And we would play things that I would compose in the class. When I got done with my courses, it was time to work on my doctoral dissertation. But I got involved in the movie business in Hollywood, and I used to work as a background artist. That's usually called an extra. And extras are the people you see, if you see in a movie or a TV show, they're the other people in the shot besides the principals. Like if you go out on Fifth Avenue in New York and you're outside some kind of a store or something and you see people milling about, those are not the usual people who mill about there. Those are extras, and they're paid to do that. They can't legally just shoot people out on Fifth Avenue. So I was doing that. I had a calling service, which is kind of an agency, and that was before the days of cell phones. And well, they did have some rudimentary cell phones in those days. Mobile phone, they were kind of huge. I remember a guy had one, and they didn't allow you with them on the set. But calling service, you'd be on a set and you'd be working, and a calling service would call during the day and get you a gig for the next day. And then you come home from work, and they leave the information on their answering machines. Antar, tomorrow at 6 a.m. call, you are a mayoral aide. You're an aide to the mayor, and the attire is upscale. Wear a suit and a tie, or something like that. And it's going to be at Culver Studios, so they give you the information. So I got this job. I used to work on movies, Die Hard, 1, Twins, Thelma and Louise, Guilty by Suspicion. There were so many movies. And I used to work TV shows. And one of the shows that I used to work a lot was Murder, She Wrote, with Angela Lansbury, who was a kind of a perennial granny type. She was great. So I had a call in the morning on Murder, She Wrote. And it wasn't at a studio anywhere tomorrow. It was going to be in a cemetery somewhere. There's an area north of LA. It's called Canyon Country. And there was some old cemetery out there. So I went to the job, and it was a dark gray morning, and whereas there's usually about 25 extras, These were all people that I knew, because it'd be a different set, different show every day, and the same people. We were all people from the calling service. So I get there, and I have to go to the cemetery and park my car in a cemetery. And there were only about 6 of us. It was cool. It's nice when there aren't a lot of extras, And we are graveside. this is what we were supposed to do. Graveside, someone has died, and the casket is above ground, and they're about to lower that casket, and we're throwing flowers on the casket, and we're the bereaved and everything, and we're out there, and it's cold as fuck, man, really cold that morning, and overcast and gray, just a miserable day, and we're out there, and we're looking really sad and everything, and we start crying, and it's just like, that's what the scene called for, right? So we did a take or two. They said, cut. Okay, we're going again. And then we did it again, and cut. And then we did it again. And we did a take that was really beautiful. And we were just like there over the casket, and we're bereaved, and we're throwing flowers. And all of a sudden the wind came up, and it blew these little leaves out of the tree, and they came wafting down into the shop. And they were little green lozenge-shaped leaves down in there. And it really set the scene off beautifully, And the guy says, cut, print, And they really liked the effect of those leaves. So we're going again. We're going to go again, So, but it took a while, because you can't just, movie companies are powerful, but they can't get existence to just do what they want existence to do whenever they want it, So they had to somehow simulate those lozenge leaves coming down, right? So I don't know. It was a long time before the next take, and then we go into the next take, and we're huddled up with our clothes and our parkas and our overcoats, and we're just like, oh God, putting flowers on the grave, and all of a sudden the leaves start coming again, and I'm thinking, how did they do that, And I looked up in a tree, and there was a guy up there. And they had gone around and collected those leaves off the ground. That's why it took so long. It was a couple of hours or whatever. They collected all those leaves, and they put them in a bag. Now, and there's this grip up there, and he's, when they go into the shot, he's wafting the leaves into the shot, It's hilarious, Now, in Hollywood, on a movie set, there are different types of people for different kinds of functions. And they're all unionized, The directors in the Directors Guild, and the actors are in the Screen Actors Guild, and the extras are in the Screen Actors Guild. And you have these guys called electricians, and those are dudes who carry the lights around, and they plug them in and they unplug them. And you have grips, and grips are these guys that just lift shit around, They move stuff around. And a typical grip in the late 1980s would be a dude, and he'd have on a sports hat, and a pair of Reeboks and corduroy shorts, maybe a little beard or a mustache, and he was a dude. And so I look up there, there's a grip in the tree, and he's wafting those leaves down, and they got their shot for that movie. So Angela Lansbury was not there that day, and usually I would shoot with her. It would be on a set or a location, like there's a hotel in downtown LA, the Biltmore maybe or something, but this time it was just 6 extras around a grave in a cemetery in Canyon Country, and they got the shot, and that shot was probably blended in with an episode of Murder, She Wrote. Ciao.